Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to November's Bookish monthly reset. Oh boy! Yeah. This is it. This is the final one of these we're doing. The next reset we'll do is going to be our New Year reset for 2026. Crazy. So, fuel. I never fully understand why I make myself a cup of tea, because then I start yapping and the tea goes cold, and that one beautiful sip before I get going, it's like the only real decent sip I get of the entire mug. Plan for today. Up first, we're going to start with my October reading wrap-up. So I'm going to take you through all the books that I read in October, which ones I read from the TBR, which ones I didn't, my ratings, thoughts, etc. Then we're going to update the book journal. That's going to be like the main thing. I want to make sure that that is definitely up to date, because it's honestly not long before I'm going to start thinking about my 2026 reading journal and starting to plan out those pages. So I need to have my 2025 one in a good place. And then I've got a tiny bit of bookish unboxing that I need to do, and I think I know what's in one of them and I have no idea what's in the other, which I bought it for myself. It's not like it's a surprise, but somehow it ended up a surprise because I cannot remember what book is in there at all. So we'll do some bookish unboxing at the end. That's the schedule for today. We're keeping things simple. Oh, and then the final thing, actually, I think I'm going to get you guys to help me pick a book. I am in some weird slump, pre-slump. I don't even know what's going on. I can't seem to read a book to save my life at the moment. For now, let's kick off with looking at the books that I read in October, because oh boy, was it a good reading month. I think I said that I think it was July was my best reading month ever. I think July and now October are probably like front runners for my best reading months of the entire year. It was really strong. Right, let's start very quickly by going back and having a look at the books that I set for myself in October. So the October TBR, we set 6 books. We had the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey, The Book of Asriel by Amber V. Nicole, If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, Bride by Ali Hazelwood, Binding 13 by Chloe Walsh, and then Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. So of those 6 that we read, I'm gonna claim that I read 4 of them. Technically I read 3, but I'm gonna claim 4. So the 3 that I indisputably read were If We Were Villains, The Book of Asriel, and the Mindfuck series. I am gonna claim that Mate by Ali Hazelwood is pretty much a direct swap for Bride, because I put Bride in there as like an extra one if I wanted to get to it. But I think that basically I read Bride instead, which is the next book in the series, and I basically read Mate instead, so I don't know. It obviously like doesn't count, but to me, not reading Bride and reading Mate instead is like a pretty perfect swap. So I'm gonna kind of claim I read 4 from the TBR-ish. And therefore, as you guys know, like the 2 that I didn't get to are Bury Our Bones and Binding 13, which are pretty heartbreaking ones not to have read, to be honest. We'll discuss this strange slump thing I'm having in a minute, because I think I'm feeling intimidated by all these books that I just know I'm really gonna love, and I'm like putting them off. There's too many books, too little time. Anyway, that is the summary. So 4 out of 6, 3 out of 6, 50% success rate-ish. Not too bad. We've done better. Pretty confident we've also done worse though, so you win some, you lose some. Anyway, so let's talk about the books that I actually did read. I actually ended up reading 8 books in total for October. I've got 6 of the physical copies here, and then I've got 2 that I read just on audio. So we had a TBR of 6, we ended up reading 8. That's pretty good going. Let's talk about them. First up, these are not in any particular order. We have the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. You guys saw, if you saw the reading vlog, you saw me reading this. I had the best time ever. I think I'm gonna finish my rating for this on 4.75. I can so vividly remember, as if it's like a movie in my mind, every single detail of this book, even though I read it over a month ago. And I think that really says something. Was it a literary masterpiece? No. But was it like a plot masterpiece? Kind of, yes. I think this story is so fun and so fantastic. It's such a good October read, but honestly, it's such a good just like winter. You could just really read this anytime. It's so much fun. The vibes are so high. Lana is so freaking badass. I loved this story, okay? I loved the way it began. Was it an actual epilogue, or do the chapters just keep going? I loved the way it ended. I loved the whole wrap up of all of it. I was gripped. I was entertained. I loved it. I already miss it. The only reason I'm docking it from 5 stars is that at the beginning, like I vividly remember when I was kind of the first, it's a very chunky book. It probably took me a good, like maybe 150 pages. I remember Cameron coming and asking me how it was going, and I was like, it's okay. Like I'm enjoying it, but the writing's not amazing, and it's not like very immersive. That obviously my opinion on that definitely changed, but I don't think it's 5 stars, you know. But yeah, it was not necessarily like that whole 5 stars is a feeling thing, but thoroughly enjoyed it. That's the Mindfuck series. Next, maybe a little bit of like a controversial one, Book of Azrael by Amber V. Nicole. I feel like I have so many mixed feelings on this book. My main emotion that I feel about this book is disappointment. I feel so disappointed in the writing, and I just mean that from like I don't mean that from like a judgmental elitist way. I mean it as in I really liked the plot of this. I personally loved Crescent City, specifically obviously what's the first one, House of Earth and Blood. I thought that book was like 5-star stellar, and it was my first introduction into like urban fantasy, so fantasy that's set in a world where there's still cars and phones and Wi-Fi and internet and like just all the modern technology things, fantasy that's set in that world. House of Earth and Blood was my first entry into that, and it was a bit of a shock to the system then. I love it, and I love the fact that this book is set in that kind of universe. The whole gods versus monsters thing I think is so cool. Sam Keel really does feel like a Greek god, like a Greek mythical Zeus kind of a god, and the whole concept of the monsters, which is where Diana's from, the female main character, being this collection of all of like the ghouls and ghosts and monsters and things that you hear about across so many fantasy books. So again, a similar thing to the way you get all of those different types of species in the Crescent City series. In this, you've got vampires, and I think there's sirens, and I all of a sudden can't think of all the different monsters, but like there's so many different types of monsters in this, and the fact that all these species exist in this book, it just means you get so much like laws and rules and magical systems like all crammed in together, and I personally love that busyness, like so much fun. I just really and truly cannot get past the writing. I know this is some people's like god tier book. The writing was so painful, guys. I really struggled. If I had to read the word Mia one more time, I think my head was going to explode. Mere inches, mere seconds, a mere whisper, merely looking, merely a breath, merely a touch. I mean, it felt like it was in every paragraph was the word Mia, and it was so overused. I thought I was going to literally lose the plot. And there were just a few examples of that where I just felt like it could have done with some editing. I mean, there was a few examples. I think I highlighted a few things. Don't enjoy being a hater, but if I am going to be critical about something, I want to make sure that I've got my receipts and that I'm not just wasn't just in a bad mood that day. There were just a few things like sentences where it would say, waiting for my next command or order. Well, an order and a command are the same thing. And there'd be lots of examples of that where it's just very repetitive. And you don't need to put both of those. You can just put waiting for my next command, not or order or instruction. It's too much. I've also written down, if I have to read the phrase, those movies that Gabby loved so much one more time with 5 exclamation marks, I do recall them referencing Gabby's favourite movies again and again and again. Oh yeah, I think I actually referenced this line if anyone that saw the vlog, when I was on the train, but I just find this so cringy. The female main character says, I didn't have a moment to savour my smart quip before, ... And I just think to refer, if you're a sarky badass FMC, to refer to yourself as I didn't even get a chance to savour how funny I am, but to call it a smart quip, I don't know, to me it's just a little cringy. Anyway, I find this so hard to rate because did I eventually really get into the story? And there was no question of me not finishing it. For a while I was I'm gonna have to DNF it, I can't push through. And then the story just got more and more addictive, and I really love Diana and Sam Keel, I really do. And I really want to read the future books because I want to read the story. I don't know where that leaves me. Has anybody, because I know some people really do love this series, has anybody read the other books? I guess if you loved the first one and you didn't notice any issues, then it wouldn't make, I would love to know if the writing changes, or maybe I just have to give the second book a chance and give it a try. Anyway, I'm actually going to finish my rating for this on 3.25, which is not a bad rating at all. Like I said, I think the story and the plot really saved it. It's just, it had to lose a lot of marks because I felt like I was fighting with the writing and just trying to ignore it or just blur my eyes over some of the phrases. But it's a really good story. So I don't know where that leaves this in terms of me recommending it to you. I think if you like the concept of the story, maybe give it a try. It's one of those ones where you almost kind of want to read a little preview and see what you think of the writing. Like I said, I know some people really struggled with it. I know some people absolutely loved it. It seems to be very Marmite. And I guess I'm kind of finishing off somewhere in the middle, which is what to me feels fair. Okay, moving on to happier times. I don't need to say much about me, okay? I think if you haven't seen the reading vlog of me reading this, go watch it if you also enjoy a good time, because I had the greatest time reading this book and finishing my rating on this book at 5 stars. I don't know if I actually said it was 5 stars in that vlog, probably not. I probably tried to be demure about it and give it a 4.75 or something, but it's a 5 stars, okay? I don't know, there was nothing I would change. There was nothing I would change. Ali Hazelwood just knows how to write a paranormal romance, and I hope she continues to write so many more of them. Towards the end, there is so much spice. Heat is involved, you know? Like when a dog goes into heat. Yeah. I don't want to say anything else without spoiling it because it is the second book in Interconnected Standalone, so I don't want to spoil anything from Bride. If you haven't read Bride yet, go read Bride first, then come and read Mate. This was fantastic. I loved it even more than Bride, and I gave Bride 5 stars. So then I was like, well, how could I not give this 5 stars? I loved Mate. I recommend it. 'Twas fantastic. Okay, then if we're doing a little bit of alternating, which we seem to be, I then listened to Hot for Slayer, also by Ali Hazelwood. This is, I think, it's like a little audiobook novella. I don't think it even exists in a physical copy. I mean, it was cute, it was fun. I don't even know really what to rate it. I think I kind of want to give it like 2.75, but maybe that's really unfair because there was nothing necessarily wrong with it. I just think it was, maybe I'll give it 3 stars, 2 point something like that. It's just so short. I think maybe really, I think the audiobook was 3 hours long, maybe even less, like 2 hours and 45 minutes or something, like 3 hours long. So it was quick, like it was really quick to get through. And it's basically about a vampire and a vampire slayer, and they have spent thousands of years chasing each other, and it's a romance basically. But I think because I'm used to fantasy books being like an 18-hour audiobook, for it to be 3 hours, I was a bit like, whoa, that was so fast. It didn't really give me a second to enjoy it. But if you do want kind of like a fun, flirty time, the voice actors is obviously done duet because it's just an audiobook, so the production of it is really good. It's very quick, very silly, quite fun, but there was just no depth to it from my perspective, but like how could there be? So I don't know if just as a concept, I just don't think that works, or if it just didn't work for me. But I'm gonna finish Hot for Slayer on 2.75. If you have 3 hours to kill, maybe you're delayed in an airport or you're waiting for a train or something like that, and you want like just something entertaining, like a little movie to watch but that's just short, maybe give it a go. But I wouldn't like prioritize getting to it over reading other books. Then we have Diabound. I talked a lot about this book literally at the end of my previous video, so you've heard my thoughts on this extremely recently. I can't remember what I finished my rating on in that video, but having since sat with it, thought about it, I am gonna give Diabound 4.5. I really enjoyed this story. One of my favorite, I think in that vlog also, I kept calling them werewolves. They're not werewolves at all. They're wolves. Well, they're dire wolves. And I think I kept referring to them as like werewolves and vampires, and that's just not accurate. It's a story about dire wolves and vampire adjacent kind of creatures. But I really enjoyed the plot. I really enjoyed the fantasy elements. I enjoyed the story. Oh no, maybe I could bump it down to 4.25. I had a great time reading this. The ending was a bummer for me. I think the romance at the end was a shame and a bit disappointing, and I wish that we'd just left all of the romance stuff for book 2. I'm hoping in book 2 we get a bit of a reset, a bit of a redo, and the two that have their romantic moment at the end of this book get like a fresh opportunity at it, because I feel like those two deserved more. And I don't want to say anything else without spoiling anything, but if you want a really good classic filled with all the tropes that you know, I think there's one bed in here. Like it's filled to the brim of all your classic tropes, but actually done really well, feels really fresh and new, and not like a copy. Even though it feels similar, it doesn't feel the same, and I loved that. So recommend Diabound for sure. Okay, speeding through the rest, because again, I've talked about these all very recently, but Taurus Season by Brynne Weaver, my favorite Brynne Weaver book. Loved it, gonna give it 4.25. So much fun, actively laughing out loud, kind of funny. It's about 2 serial killers who both kill for different reasons, but one of them primarily kills irritating tourists in her town. It's a romance, but it builds very slowly. He absolutely hates her, and it is the first book in a trilogy, which I really enjoy because it means that their story is not finished. It's nowhere near finished. This book ended on a total cliffhanger. I cannot wait for book 2, and like you can tell, like it just makes me smiley, this book. It was so much fun. If you like funny dark romance, like you're gonna enjoy this. I did also do a re-listen / reread of Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. Definitely bumped way higher than my original rating of the book, which was so unfair. I really enjoyed it. Somehow the spice in that book is just still a bit much for me. I don't know why. It just started to feel a bit like, oh no, that's like just too much, too far. And I really don't know why. But anyway, my final Butcher and Blackbird rating is 3.5 / 3.75, somewhere in that region. the final book of October, which it's so fun when you find one of your new favourite books ever. And I actually don't think I would have gotten to this book if you hadn't told me to read it, so thank you. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio is a true masterpiece. It was so good. I'm not going to rehash everything I said in last week's vlog because, oh my gosh, I just yapped and yapped and yapped and yapped about this. So go watch that if you want my in-depth thoughts, but it's a stellar 5-star. It's a Hall of Famer. I'm going to be putting this book in the Hall of Fame when we update the journal. It belongs there. One of my favourite books of the entire year. The writing was so fantastic. It was so immersive. The literary techniques that we used were so clever. The plot was fast-paced. It constantly had me guessing, constantly had me on the edge of my seat. I loved all of the characters, especially Oliver and James. And I will put a link to the fanfic that I read having finished this, just in case anyone else feels like they need it to they just need, like, you if you know, and if you feel like you just need more when you finish this book, I'll link the fanfic that I read. Obviously it's not written as beautifully as this is written, but honestly, God bless the person that decided to spend their time just giving us that little extra bit more, because it's what I needed. It's what I needed. So I'll link that as well. And that is it. Those are all 8 books that I read in October. I now need to go update the reading journal with all of those updates. So I'm going to go do that now, get that up to date and feeling good. And then I'll come back, show you that in a little bit, see what we've got left in the journal that we're going to need to get read before the end of the year so we can complete it. And then you can help me choose a book, because I think I've started something like 6 books, like trying to get into things, and nothing is working. I've started Binding 13. I've started Ninth House. I'm a decent way through Thursday Murder Club. I've started The Wolf King. Like, the list keeps going. I'm trying to think what else I've started. Oh, I started Shield of Sparrows. I've started so many books, and they're all books I know I'm gonna love, so it's not like I'm not trying great books. Like, I'm trying great books. And I think there's something about this time of year, like my attention span is so low. I don't know what it is, but I haven't yet finished a book in November, and I think my brain is breaking. So I might just put a little poll up. And let's go do the book journal, and then we'll talk about it in a bit, but I might just put a little poll up and ask you guys to just pick a book from that poll, and then I will just read that. Like, there's gonna be no flip to a different one, no messing around. Like, you will speak, the people have spoken, and I just have to start that book no matter how long it takes me. That might just be what I have to do, because this cannot continue. Anyway, don't you worry about that for now. I'm gonna not worry about reading, not worry about books. Normally I love putting on an audiobook when I do the book journal, but I think I'm just gonna go put on some TV or just listen to some music. Maybe we'll do some music, try and de-stimulate me a little bit, update the book journal, and then I'll be back and show you what that's looking like in just a minute. Okay, all done. This is really boring to be fair. Oh, my lens is a bit blurry. This is really boring to literally every single person in the world that's not me, but for anyone that watches both of my channels, I've had this issue lately with my lens where in low light, it goes really orange, like really, really orange if it's slightly dark. And I have not been able to work out what on earth is going on in my settings. I've been Googling it for weeks and nothing has, anyway, I worked out how to fix it. And look, I'm back. It's kind of dark right now and my camera, anyway, that's it. So everything's fixed. I finished this and then I was like, I'm sick of it, because I could see through the lens when I was doing this how it was just getting like more and more orange, because the living room is the darkest room in the house. Anyway, that's so boring. We've done our book journal updates, and guys, I can't believe we're nearly done with the book journal for the year. So let's have like one final review of it, because I don't know what the deal is going to be with December, but yeah, I think we'll probably do like a proper review of the goals that we hit, more likely when we start the new year. Wow. Anyway, for anyone new around here that's never seen the journal at all, this is it. This is what it looks like. We've got our very questionable front page. Then we have my rating system and my goals for the year, which I don't know. We might hit all of those. We may not. Let's see how we go. We've then got progress towards our reading goal. And look at this. We've only got one left. I can't believe it. No, two left. We've got two left. Of the reading goal, this says, I think this is incorrect, because I think I'm actually closer to my reading goal than this. But this is I'm 20 books away, just under 20 books away. I actually don't think I'm that far off. So I need to do a review and see which ones on here I've missed. I am going to do my book journal slightly differently for 2026. But anyway, for now, this is the tracker. We are so nearly there with the bucket list. So fun, they got to finally scratch off the Cameron Chooses. The 1,000 pages I need to read Alchemized this year, otherwise that one's not going to get done. British author, I'm probably like 65% of the way through Thursday Murder Club, so that will be definitely ticked. I probably have read more British authors than that this year. I just don't actually know like most of these authors and where they're from, which maybe that's really bad. A classic, that's another one. Am I going to read a classic by the end of the year? Christmas is quite a good time to read a classic, so maybe I'll get to a classic over Christmas. I mean, I recently bought Emma. I have books everywhere. I need to do a proper organise of my books. That'll be a Bookmas video, I reckon. We're doing Bookmas. I shouldn't have said that. Anticipated releases. This, we are definitely not going to have ticked them all, which is a shame. But I think I've just got too many that I haven't done yet. Wild and Wrangled, I'll probably read that over Christmas. Love a Cowboy Romance over Christmas. Atmosphere, we'll get to. Love Arranged, I don't know if we'll get to this year. Maybe we could do it. We're doing decently well. And then my 25 books for 2025, we still haven't read. Atmosphere, Binding 13, I feel good about those. Brimstone, that's going to be so easy to do. Daisy Hates, I don't know if we'll get to. Ninth House, I've started that, so maybe I'll finish it. Eldritch, I really wanted to do. Crooked Kingdom and The Invisible Life of Addie Rue. Oh my god, all those are such good books, and I feel intimidated by literally all of them. I had absolutely no updates to the series tracker, which feels crazy, but my series tracker is so random. This is why this was kind of like a test year for the book journal. This was a let's see if I'm capable of doing this kind of a year, because there were obviously so many more series than this. Like Bride and Mate weren't on here, although maybe they're not a series. Yeah, they do count as a series to me, but I just feel like I'm in the middle of a lot more series than what we've actually got on here. And then Hall of Fame, I finally wrote out all of my descriptors, which was about time, and added If We Were Villains, which means we only have one more slot. And for anyone that's curious that hasn't seen this before, my 6 Hall of Famers that I've got so far, so like just my best books of the year: Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford to finish off the Windy City series, All In, which is the 3rd book in the Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Oh, I was so gripped. Rose in Chains, oh my god, Rose in Chains. And then If We Were Villains. Of all of them, I honestly think that maybe Rose in Chains is like Rose in Chains, Unwell. And then My Little Dutch Door. I can't believe how much, like, all of a sudden we're just nearly there. These are then my books of the month. And across all the months, we've had The Dixon Rule, that was so funny. Magnolia Parks, Six of Crows, Anathema, Hello Beautiful, You and Me on Vacation. Oh, that was so good. Love and Other Words. Oh, I loved it. Funny Story, Rose in Chains, and then If We Were Villains. Yeah, what a crazy year. So that is the updates for the book journal. Oh, the sun has popped out for one last time before it sets for the day. Okay, let's open the book mail because I can't wait any longer. I've got 2 packages. One that's already arrived and that I opened earlier in the week, and that was Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. One of my favourite festive reads. I'm gonna sit down and talk you through all of my favourite festive reads, but if you are like already in the mood to read Christmas books and you want to start right now, start with this, okay? Start with this. It's so good, so good. But let's see what's in here. Going to a bookshop is so fun, but opening books that get delivered to you is also so fun, because this is like a little, oh yeah, that's what it was that I ordered. Forgot about that. Oh, it's all like sparkly. I ordered Good Spirits by B.K. Borison. I loved Love Light Farms. I don't know anything about Good Spirits in terms of, I feel like I know literally nothing that it's about, but it feels very Christmassy. Oh, he's a ghost. He's the ghost of Christmas past, but she's not exactly Scrooge. Wait, is it actually a ghost? Oh, he's actually a ghost. Wait, what? No, is this fantasy? I'm so confused. I have no idea if this man is a real ghost or like a metaphorical ghost, but I'm very excited to add this to the festive season TBR. Cool, and then I think I do know what should be in here now. So I have remembered. Yay, that's so satisfying. Oh. It's not what I thought it was. I hope I did order what I thought I ordered, and I hope that's on its way, but tis about time I got this. I ordered Butcher and Blackbird. This needed to be purchased. This needed to go on the shelf. Oh, it's so funny, this book. Maybe I should have given it a higher rating. Yay! Oh, I think a man is about to knock on the door. I wonder if he has the final book for me. Let me just go find out. 1 second to see if the postman's brought the final book. Okay, yeah, no luck. That was probably a little bit of a long shot, but 'twas not with the postman. So hopefully that will arrive soon. I'm gonna double check that I've ordered it because that is such a good one for a festive winter book rec. Can't wait to tell you about it. I'm gonna compile my full list of like all the festive wintry reads that you wanna be prioritizing over the next few months. That'll be on its way soon. Next on my to-do list for today is to update my Goodreads, but more specifically to update my Fable. Look, I'm not gonna tell you why, but I just think it might not be a bad idea if you don't already use Fable, or if your Fable's a little bit out of date. Maybe you could like refresh it, get yourself an account if you don't already have one. There might be a good reason to have one coming very soon. Do I still wish that it had a desktop version? Yes, I do. But is Fable better than Goodreads? Like, yes, it is. I can tell. I'm not crazy. I do know that Fable is better than Goodreads, but somehow Goodreads is still, they seem to be good at different things. I think I, for the time being, just need to get good at updating both of them, but I'm gonna go update my Fable, make sure all of the books that I've read in October are all fully updated, and my Fable is feeling like very nice and up to date. So if you want to follow me on Fable, I am hereby committed to keeping my page up to date so you can see all the books that I've read recently and what I rated them. As always, you can follow me on Goodreads as well. Like, I don't think I'm going to stop posting on Goodreads. I'm just going to try to do both, you know? If you wouldn't mind, I know I'm just being greedy at this point, but if you wouldn't mind, could you just go and help me pick a book? Like, I'll put the poll up for when this video goes live, which should be tomorrow. So I've only got another 24 hours to suffer through not being able to read a book. But would you mind, if you have a spare 2 minutes, could you just go vote for a book for me? Because this is getting insane. I hate this weird slumpy feeling. It's not that I don't want to read a book. I really want to read a book. I just don't know what book to read. I feel a bit paralyzed by choice, and then every time I read or listen to like the first, I think I'm overstimulated. Like every time I start a book, I get distracted, and then I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should actually try a different one because maybe that one will hold my attention more. No. I think what I need is discipline to just sit and just be and just read the damn thing. And I think I'm a bit all over the place. So if you can help me choose, I'll just do whatever. I'll do whatever you say. You are the higher power. So thank you very much if you do vote on a book for me. And I think that's officially it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. As always, I hope you're in the middle of such a lovely book, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye guys.